We've all been through a scenario like this once, twice, or maybe too many times to mention, and it goes something like this. You're in a relationship with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, partner, significant other, and the details for your split don't really matter right now, but the fact of the matter is that you're going to break up. And then they say to you, it's not you, it's me. And I'm sorry, but I have no idea why anybody actually says this because it makes absolutely zero sense. But anyways, they or you say it like it's going to make anything better, and then that inevitable crushing blow lands like 2 tons of bricks on top of your head. Yeah. Well, reverse that scenario. Tell the other person, it's not me, it's you. And you've basically landed on how this community post from the Square Enix team has landed on the Outriders community. What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and I'm still enjoying this game, especially when I get to squad up with friends in our community Discord server, but this post by the ComDev team really left me on edge, and frankly, a bit baffled. But before I dive into today's topic, in case you aren't yet a sub, please smash that sub button, and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss a future upload notification from my YouTube channel. Let's go. So after that long intro, you're probably wondering, what the hell am I talking about? And it has to do with this Square Enix ComDev response to a Reddit post titled, "Anyone else feeling dread and deja vu about the upcoming drop rate quote-unquote information?" In which the Arkin, who I have praised in several previous videos, seems to get this one all wrong. Now the gist of this response is what feels like a mild but still direct wall of text designed to inform the player base, but in many ways it makes us, or at least me, feel like I'm to blame for the faulty RNG system. Full disclosure, I have had no previous interactions with the studio prior to this game releasing. I've had zero input into the design of the game or the mechanics of the loot system, yet here, I feel like I'm being questioned, almost as if my sanity is being called into question when I read through this post. Now, as always, I will include a link to the Reddit post in the video description, and I encourage you all to read it over for yourselves. But this entire post was created because of the poor drop rates, especially legendaries on expeditions. Just me throwing it out there, but I don't need a series of 12 different does it mean questions surrounding all sorts of different aspects of the poor loot drops to understand what is not going well for the RNG system. I can literally answer no to all 12 of these questions and just be done with it. And to be crystal clear, I am not complaining about the loot drops sub-legendary, as those are a dime a dozen and seem to fall like rain. What I am talking specifically about are legendary drops. Now, the entire endgame is built for these brief expeditions for the sole purpose of leveling up your characters to gear level 50 and this is the real focus of the endgame, to obtain legendary gear to either equip on your builds or to break down for the tier 3 mods. All the rest of the ancillary mechanics, drop pod, resources, titanium, scrap, vendor, side quest, main story missions, all of that is immediately removed when you hit the higher challenge tier levels, and it all becomes laser focused on getting the right gear drops for your build, and that's it. Why do I, or for that matter, anyone else in the community that has logged a decent amount of hours, why do we need to answer these questions? Maybe I'm wrong here, and please sound off in the comment section below if I am. I just ask that you keep your responses professional, but I'm a big boy and I can take the criticisms. But again, maybe I'm wrong here, but this response has the underlying tones of you are complaining, you being us the players, because you don't understand the different locations and mechanics for loot drops to occur, and therefore you don't understand how this game works. Again, maybe I am interpreting this completely incorrectly, but in my previous line of work, I did intensive contract negotiations, so I'm acutely aware of grammar, context, and more importantly, tone. It not only matters what you say or don't say, but also, and just as significantly, how you say it. I mean, this game has been out for just over 2 months, and now we get a 12-part questionnaire about loot that looks like this? Okay. How about this? For shits and giggles, let me remove the questions about anything that is not in-game related, because while you were completing the main story campaign and side missions, Outriders throws loot at you in droves, so that's not an issue. Now, what I believe Phoenix Vanguard, the OP, is referring to is end-game loot. Maybe that's just my interpretation, but for right now, let's roll with it. Also, since I have seen maybe 3 Legos drop in the open world when farming the monster hunts or bounties, even on World Tier 15, which boast a 425% increased drop rate for legendaries. Anyways, this source of legendary gear needs to be excluded because it simply doesn't drop enough Legos to be considered a farming source. So, let's narrow it down to say CT13 through CT15. And I believe this is where you have like 99% of your issues. Also, Tiago isn't a factor here either because you somehow forgot to include him or any other source in the game as a rolling legendary gear source with a rotating table of wares, something pretty basic that every other shooter on the market has incorporated into their games and the players love it, but was somehow not included into Outriders, so there you go. So back to that CT13 to CT15 topic, and issue number 1 here is the posted legendary drop rates. 15%, 20%, 25% legendary drop rates look visually appealing, but the game isn't really telling you the whole truth, now is it? As we've now come to learn, those increased drop rates are only on the first 4 pieces of gear that pop out of the drop pods upon mission completion, which baffles me, but it's there in the game. You can have like 15 pieces of loot that fire out onto the ground, maybe even more, but only the first 4 will be pushed through the legendary RNG system to determine if you get one to drop or not. I mean, I don't see that published anywhere in the game. No back screens that explains to the players, but from the tone of this article, it is somehow our faults for not knowing exactly how this RNG system is designed to work. Now, since there is no mechanic for targeted farming, because it literally feels like every time you get a Lego to drop, it could be one of the 100-something legendaries in the game, the chances of you getting exactly what you want or need are infinitesimally low. Then, and let's be honest here, everybody knows that certain gear, like Cannonball, have a much heavier drop rate chance than, say, a Death Shield. So, we are fighting against a 1 in 100-something chance to actually get the exact piece we need. We're also fighting against the weighted drop rates on the common pieces, and to top it all off, there is no system in the game for us to target or even purchase the pieces we want, like a Destiny-style Xur on a rotation basis. Now, I've read the reports, I've read the posts, and I've even seen videos of players running trainers or modded lobbies, something that I do not do, and I really do condone this type of behavior. But what does that tell you that in a PvE-only game, with no esports, no PvP, no competitive side, that players are actually resorting to using external software to try to get them on even terms with the RNG system in the game? And even then, while using these systems, the players still can't get the pieces that they need to actually drop. I mean, I'm still shaking my head at this one. Even while using a trainer with the legendary drop rate slider fully maxed out and blasting through expeditions, these players are still not able to get pieces that they want for their builds to drop. Now, as a studio or as an individual dev team member, when you hear that fact, do you think to yourself, yep, sounds like our RNG system is functioning properly? Now, I've spoken about this before, but it took me nearly 235 hours before I saw my first Death Shield hit the ground. At this point, I am nearly 300 hours into this game, which compared to some of you is a drop in the bucket, I know that, but at nearly 300 hours, I have never seen an Akari chest piece or lower body armor drop for me. And so for a player like me, I'm really only left with 2 alternatives. 1, I've got to go against my morals and actually purchase a trainer. Even though it is not guaranteed to get certain pieces to drop for me, I'm just letting you know up front, I'm not going to turn to this option, I'm just stating it for the video. Or 2, I've just got to keep grinding and grinding versus a merciless RNG system that, despite changing the challenge tiers up and down, trying it solo, trying it in a group of 2 or 3, double melee pounding the drop pods at the end of the mission, and even doing the damn hokey pokey to try and put some good voodoo on those drops, it's still wildly inconsistent. I mean, I've run multiple CT15s in a full squad and come in way under the gold clear times, and I've seen nothing. 0 Legos hit the ground. Now, it's just my recommendation, but if a player or squad finishes a CT15 on a gold clear, there should be at least 1 legendary hitting the ground as guaranteed loot. But back to that 0 loot on CT15 topic, and this is not a rare occurrence for me. I will frequently see 1, 2, 3, or more CT15 clears on all gold times yield absolutely 0 legendary drops. Again, Let's get back to the topic of the article, and it was everything to do with drop rates suck. If I am grinding out CT15 gold clears and getting 0 legendary drops over and over, or when I do get 1 or 2 to hit the ground, it is items that I can purchase at the vendor, or they're just general gear set items that I see frequently, then I absolutely agree with the statement concerning drop rates. I have no idea if anyone at Square Enix, the community dev team, or People Can Fly have ever seen one of my uploads or even really care about what I'm saying here, but if by some miracle someday one of them does see this video, I want them to hear this. Players play games to have fun. We grind your end game, chasing those legendaries for the thrill of the hunt and ultimately to feel powerful and rewarded. When the RNG system is overly complex, punishing, stingy, has no targeting system and no vendor workarounds, it creates a bitter feeling towards your product. Your producer comment about how the game is designed to value players' time and to not take 300 hours to find specific pieces has really not aged well, because in reality, the way your current systems are designed, your game does just that. It doesn't value gamers' time. It doesn't make us feel powerful or rewarded. It doesn't give us options. It doesn't give us direction or a feeling of accomplishment. And I don't need a 12-question post asking about certain scenarios, about how I feel about loot in this facet of the game versus that facet. What we need is action and a bit of compassion when it comes to understanding your broken and punishing RNG systems. The problem isn't us, it's you. As always, if you are needing assistance with Outriders, I invite you to join the safe haven of my community Discord server. Check in the video description below for the link, click it, accept the rules, and you are in. Now once there, one of our incredible mods will get you pointed in the right direction. We've got channels for builds, tips and tricks, photos, and of course the ever popular LFG area. Why wait for 30 minutes for a broken in-game matchmaker to pair you up with an AFK player when you can join the Discord? Post what it is that you want to do, find a squad, jump in a chat room, activate your mics, and actually enjoy the game the way it was intended. Maybe you want to power level through the campaign on an alternate character, or maybe just farm CT15s. Well, in the Discord, we've got all of that covered for you, and more. As always, I look forward to reading your feedback in the comments section below. In case you aren't yet a sub, please smash that sub button for more intensive Outriders content, and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss a future upload notification from my channel. If you could be so kind as to rate and or share the video, please do so. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch for weekly streams, including CT carries every Thursday. Join my aforementioned Discord server, and of course, find me on Twitter posting on most things gaming related. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.